Hi, and welcome to the Frog Pond School of Design, where we like to talk about things that have some connection with architecture. Before I go any farther, and no, I'm not going to ask you to like or subscribe or any of that because I really don't care. But if you do have anything you'd like to hear me talk about here, something you want to learn about, you've heard about, whatever, just leave a note down below and I'll see what I can do. But today I want to talk about another in a series of iconic structures around the world. We've talked about the Eiffel Tower and the Sydney Opera House, but today I want to talk about one you might not be quite as familiar with. It's the Cathedral of La Sagrada Familia in Barcelona, Spain. It's got a fascinating story. It was started back in 1883 when Antonin Gaudi, the architect, was only about 30 years old. In fact, it had been started for about a year before he came on the job, but he promptly changed everything about it, the whole design. After all, they hired him for a reason. He had a reputation of very organic type of design, and here you can see picture of the church and what that really means and what has resulted from his design. It's quite a fascinating place. Let's see, the result they knew from the beginning was going to be unique. But perhaps the most fascinating part of the whole project is that today, 140 years after it was started, La Sagrada Familia is still under construction. Gaudi himself died in 1926, got run over by a tram in the street. He was 73 at the time, but his instructions have continued to be followed, and today the projected completion date, are you ready for this, is 2026. There are an awful lot of people who are skeptical that that's going to happen too. It was dedicated back in 2010 by Pope Benedict XVI, so at least we got that close. But over the period of construction, new technologies have been introduced. A lot of things have been done to help move the construction along and actually lighten the loads up on the more lofty parts of the church so that it can bear the weight of the whole thing. One of the major challenges they've faced is the fact that it's right in the middle of town, so there's really almost no work area around it. So these components are being fabricated and trucked in from a work site miles outside of town. So this complicates matters. But even though some of these technologies have been introduced, there's still old world craftsmanship involved. The texture on the stone is being created by hammer and chisel, being done very much by hand. So you can see that it's they're trying to preserve the character that was intended from the very beginning. When it's finally finished, the building will have 18 towers. Why 18? Well, there's one each for each of the 12 apostles. Obviously, there's one for Jesus, there's one for Mary, and there's one for each of the 4 evangelists. So, if you happen to have been both an apostle and an evangelist, you get 2 towers, right? It's the position they're recognizing, not the individuals, I'm sure. So it's a fascinating building, but possibly even a more fascinating project when you look at it. Thanks for joining us today on the Frog Pond School of Design. I look forward to seeing you hanging around the pond again real soon.